So you think I'm in a real state? Nonsense! That is, I am drunk like a fool, but not on wine. Seeing you has turned my head. Don't mind me, I'm talking nonsense. The minute I've taken you home, I'll pour a couple of pailfuls of water over my head, and then I'll be all right. If you knew how I love you. You seem to have fallen from heaven. Don't laugh! Don't be angry. You may be angry with anyone, but not with me. I am his friend. Therefore, I am your friend too. I want to be. I expect I won't sleep all night. Zasimov was afraid that he might go mad. That's why he mustn't be irritated.
Tell me what you think. Forgive me, I don't know your first name.
Dmitri Prokofitch.
I should very much like to know, Dmitri Prokofitch, how Roger looks on things in general now. That is to say, what are his likes and dislikes? Is he always so irritable? I had not expected to find him like this.
Well, naturally. My uncle comes every year, and every time he can scarcely recognise me. I've known Roger for 1.5 years now. He is morose, haughty, and of late he's been suspicious and fanciful. He's a noble nature and a kind heart, but he doesn't like showing his feelings, and he would rather do a cruel thing than open his heart freely. He says he's so busy that everything is a hindrance, yet he lies in bed all day and does nothing. He never listens, and completely uninterested in other people. He thinks very highly of himself, and perhaps he's right to. Oh, what else? I believe your arrival will have the most beneficial influence upon him.
Oh, thank you for your impartiality, Dmitri Prokofitch. And there I was thinking you were too uncritically devoted to him. I think you are right, though. He needs a woman's care.
I didn't say so, but I dare say you're right. Only...
What?
He loves no one, and perhaps never will.
You think he is incapable of love?
Do you know, Avdotya Romanovna, you are awfully like your brother in every way indeed. Oh, it would have been better if you'd come tomorrow. Then I shouldn't have been drunk. What was it made me get so tight? It was because they made me get into an argument. Damn them! I've sworn never to argue. Would you believe they insist on the complete absence of individualism? Oh, I've only a nonsense with their own, but as it is, talk nonsense, but talk your own nonsense, and I will kiss you for it. And what are we doing now? In science, development, thought, invention, ideas, aims, judgment, experience, and everything. We're still in the preparatory class at school. We prefer to live on the ideas of others. It's what we're used to. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, although I don't agree with you in everything.
Yes, you say yes. Give me your hand. And that one. I want to kiss both your hands here at once, on my knees.
Get up.
Not for anything until you let me kiss your hands. That's it. Enough. I get up and we'll go on. I am a luckless fool. I am not worthy of loving you. But to do homage to you is the duty of any man who is not a perfect beast. And so, you are betrothed. And Roger believes your fiancé to be a scoundrel. What brothers are up to. That is, if you of your own free will, well then No, Roger has no right, knowing nothing of your mutual relations and next to nothing of the man himself.
Dmitri Prokofitch, Pyotr Petrovitch promised to meet me at the station. Did you know that? But instead he sent a servant. Do you know, last night I dreamt of Marfa Petrovna. She was all in white. She came up to me, took my hand, and shook her head at me. Oh, but you don't know, Dmitri Prokofitch, that Marfa Petrovna's dead.
Oh, I didn't know, I'm sorry. Who is Marfa Petrovna?
She died suddenly. But you don't know who Marfa Petrovna is, and for some reason I was thinking that you knew all about me. Forgive me, Dmitri Prokofitch, I must be tired. What's the matter with your right hand? Have you hurt it?
I've bruised it. Will you tell me about her?
She was the one who first arranged the meeting between myself and Pyotr Petrovitch, Mr. Spidrigailov's wife. I worked as a governess in their house. How do I begin? Well, to tell you briefly, I received 100 roubles in advance when I took up the position, on condition of part of my salary being deducted every month. So it was impossible for me to leave when I needed to, and then Roger needed the money.
When you needed to?
Yes. You see, although Marfa Petrovna was always kind and generous to me, Mr. Svidrigailov was, from the very beginning, deeply disrespectful, especially when... How do I put this? When under the influence of Bacchus. I half wish that I had not begun to tell this.
Go on, please.
Well, it transpired later on that he had conceived a passion for me and endeavoured to conceal it under a show of rudeness and contempt. Possibly he was ashamed, I don't know. But after several months he lost all control. He offered to give up everything for me. Indeed, he wanted me to go away with him, to go abroad. I had 6 weeks left before I could leave his employ on account of that debt, but even if I could have, I would not have left straight away, for Marfa Petrovna's suspicions would have been aroused, I'm sure, and I hoped to spare her.
What happened?
Marfa Petrovna overheard her husband pleading with me in the garden one afternoon, and believed me to be the cause of it all. I shall never forget her face. She struck me, wouldn't listen. She gave orders that I should be sent home at once in a peasant's cart, and flung all of my clothes, all of my linen, and me into it. I wonder why shame is of all kinds of suffering the hardest to bear. For a month the town was full of gossip. All of our acquaintances avoided us. No one even bowed to us in the street. Mother became ill, and I was at my wits' end when, by God's mercy, our sufferings were cut short. Mr. Svidrigailov repented and laid before Marfa Petrovna the truth of the situation. He even produced a letter that I had written to him long before the incident in the garden, reproaching him for the baseness of his behaviour. Oh, Marfa Petrovna was completely taken aback. And at once, without any delay, she took my letter round every house in town, and everywhere asserted my innocence. Why, I wondered, did I tell you all that?
Forgive me. Come, I must leave you to your lodgings. And for those alone, Roger was right in driving your fiancée away. Nastasio, fly upstairs with a light and sit with Roger. I'll be back in a quarter of an hour.